Hello, class. For this discussion, we're going to concentrate on different types of journals. Starting with chapter 7 in the text, they start discussing what's called special journals, where they're just like your general journal, which we've learned about so far. But they're special journals where they only record certain types of transactions. And the point of this is to save time. So for example, if you're recording sales from customers, you don't have to have a journal entry for every single sale. You can do it more of in total rather than individual transactions. And the easiest way to do this is by use of what's called a special journal. Again, we have gone over the general journal, which you can use for any kind of transactions. Special journals are for certain transactions and meant to save time. As we've gone through the years, the special journals, when they were done on paper and pencil, they save time because you could in total post to sales, let's say for many sales throughout the day instead of individually. A computer has replaced a lot of that for us now, but it's still important to understand the steps that the computer is doing for us. That way, if there's ever mistakes or special type transactions, we know how to fix them, and then we also can make sure we're maintaining the accuracy of our records. So computers do a lot of this work for us now, and I'm going to show you that a little bit here. But again, it's important to learn what these special journals do and how to do a little bit of the manual recording in them so we understand what the computer is doing for us. So in chapter 7, we start the study of these special journals, and in this case, we're going to look at sales and accounts receivable. And I'll go ahead and do that for you in a minute here. But I'm also going to highlight here in chapter 7, we're concentrating on the sales journal here, where we're recording sales of merchandise on credit. So because they're very similar transactions, again, we can specialize that journal to sales on credit. In the future chapters, we'll be looking at a purchases journal, which is more where we're buying stuff on credit or from our vendors. And then we'll look at cash receipts and cash payments journals, which are where we're receiving cash or paying cash. And then, of course, we have the general journal, which we have already talked about, which is to record everything that doesn't fit in one of the special journals, but technically can also be used for any type of journal entry. And then it also is used for adjusting and closing entries, which are covered in our previous chapter. Okay, so to look at this, I'm going to go ahead and look at an example company in a computerized software. So I chose QuickBooks Online here, and I went ahead and clicked into a test company. I'll provide you with the link to the test company so you can click around into QuickBooks. But in QuickBooks, it is set up to pretty much have these special journals, as they call them. They have an area over here called Sales, and that's going to be where you're going to record all of your sales type transactions. Their purchases type journal, which we'll go over in the next chapter, is kind of in this area called expenses. QuickBooks tries to set its software up so that the language they use is understandable to all, not just the people with accounting backgrounds. And so then the cash receipts and payments journals, which will be in the future chapter as well, kind of fit in the banking area because that's where you're going to have your cash deposits and like your checks, your direct payments are going to go there. And then you can see they have a couple other areas here. Payroll is kind of its own special area in itself as well. And we have a couple of payroll chapters we will cover in this class too. So I'm just relating to you the setup of a common accounting software, how it relates to these special journals that we are discussing in this chapter and the coming chapters. So the sales journal here, if you click on that menu item, actually I'm going to go ahead and go to invoices. Invoices are where you record a sale on credit. So that's what this chapter is going to concentrate on. And typically in an accounting system, you enter in an invoice which has the customer name, so it and the item that they purchased. And you literally only have to enter in the information from the invoice. The computer does the rest. The computer is going to credit sales for the amount of the sale and debit accounts receivable to that specific customer's account, receivable account. And so this sales area here does that work for you. It is literally debiting and crediting, debiting accounts receivable, crediting sales for every time you enter an invoice. And it's posting them to the general ledger, so you don't have to do any of that posting. That's the nice part about computerized accounting. It does a lot of that time-consuming work for us. But we have to know, okay, when I sell someone something, it goes over in sales, and if it is a credit sale, I'm going to go ahead and enter an invoice. I'm going to go ahead and click on this example invoice here for Shara Barnett, and it will show you. We put in the name of the customer, and by doing that, it puts it to that customer's particular account receivable, so we can track what that specific customer owes us. And then it has the customer email in there, which is helpful because when you send bills to customers, you can do that. It's got their address, the terms, they owe the money within 30 days. That's what net 30 means. And it's got your invoice date and your due date there. And then you list down here the products that you're selling. By doing that, it will automatically credit sales, and it will credit to those specific types of sales when we pick the actual product or service. So accounting programs are awesome. They do a lot of that work for us. But I wanted to let you know this chapter, there's a lot of accounting terminology. In essence, they're teaching us about an invoice to a client, and this is how you would see it in an accounting system. You literally are entering in a sale of what they purchased, and then once you save it, it goes ahead and posts it to the accounting records for you. And in this case, you can save and send, and you could send an email to that person with their bill. Pretty cool. Also in this chapter, it's a sales journal where we have a sales for accounts on account. Keep that in mind. Cash sales would then go into our other journal, which would be a cash receipts journal. So if someone just pays you cash for a sale, it doesn't go into the sales journal. It goes into a cash receipts journal. So for this discussion, I'd like you to just take a chance to explore this example company and the sales area, but also explore the other special journal areas here, and just take a chance to explore and just let us know something that you found when you looked through here. You could just say, I clicked on an invoice and I found that there's an area for net 30. That's really helpful to keep track of due dates. Or so just kind of let us know something that you explored. And I'm hoping that everybody kind of notices all different things. So if you see that somebody said, oh yeah, it's the place for a customer name in there, well then maybe pick something else out here. You could also explore other area in that sales area, like customers. And you can see a list of customers and their phone numbers. So just take a chance to explore and just let us know what you explored and anything neat that you found when you explored through this. I'll provide the link to the example company, and like I said, just let us know what you found. This is a great chance for you to explore this software and for you to get an idea of the purpose of the special journals.